Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our $1 million a year interview, Hall of Fame interview with two rock stars. They're working with a company in a relatively short period of time. They've been able to generate $1 million a year income without employees, without overhead, without a big office, and without all kinds of infrastructure. The company took care of that for them. Their names are Toni Van Schoik and Jay Treloar.
You got it, boss.
Treloar.
Yep.
I even practiced. And
I did.
I practiced. So well, I got it good. And then I get to the moment of truth and I stumble. It's not the first time. But Toni and Jay, welcome. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great.
Where am I connected to you guys from? Where are you today?
Charleston, South Carolina.
Charleston.
Yes.
Charleston.
The deep South.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have some dear friends who live in Charleston, South Carolina. Been there many times. It's a beautiful little spot.
It is.
Do you guys get through all the storms and everything else over this last season?
We really dodged a bullet.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. It was
some
crazy.
wind and some rain and nothing much else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I want to find out about you guys. Toni, let me start with you. Tell me about you. You know, you're making all this big income, but I want to know about you when you were growing up, when you were just a little girl. What did you want to be when you grew up? What were your dreams? What were your hopes?
So I remember when I was a little girl, I wanted to be a truck driver. Like
really?
A big rig truck driver.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What gave you that dream?
You know, I think it was, seeing that they got to go from place to place. They got to meet new people, and they got the alone time being on the road. It just seemed like a really cool lifestyle to me.
Wow. Did anybody in your family do that?
No. No.
Really? You just wanted to like move around and see the world.
Yep, I sure did.
Wow. Wow. So you go to school and, were your parents entrepreneurial? Was anybody in your family entrepreneurial?
Actually, yes. So my mom was a business owner for many, many years. My dad was not. He was in corporate America.
Okay.
And so he ran several large companies. I think that's where I get my work ethic from, definitely.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. So your mom was entrepreneurial, your dad was corporate, so you saw an example of entrepreneurship and you saw an example of hard work.
Yes.
Okay. Did you go to college?
I did.
Okay. Where'd you go?
University of Michigan, actually.
Really? I
blue.
grew up in Michigan, but I moved out of there when I was 9 years old. Anyway, so you went to University of Michigan. You come out of university. What were your plans?
Well, you know what? I didn't really have any plans. I was in the restaurant industry for a very long time and was waiting tables and bartending because it paid the bills. And I stayed and went into the corporate side of restaurant management after I got my degree. I just love the industry. Again, being with people, it was a natural fit for me. I love to talk, and it was, just a lot of fun. You met a lot of different people, and that was my career until I was in my 30s.
Okay. And Jay, how about you? When you were a little kid, what did you want to be?
I wanted to be a weatherman.
A weatherman?
I did. Whereabouts in Michigan did you grow up?
Southfield.
Okay, so we're both from Novi.
Okay. I was nine and a half mile in Mount Vernon.
Okay, yeah. So when I was a kid, I grew up watching Jerry Hodak on Channel 7. And I just thought it was the coolest thing being able to tell people what was going to happen in the future. And I was always kind of a little bit of a science kind of nerd.
Yeah.
And I had a big whiteboard, and I used to draw fake weather maps and stuff when I was really little. And then from there, I kind of morphed into wanting to be a game show host.
Who was your game show host hero?
Bob Barker, right?
Bob Barker.
Bob Barker, yeah. And so that was,
But you wanted to be in front of the camera. You wanted to.
I did. I wanted to tell people what was going on, or be happy with people. I thought it was great, giving people cars and stuff, and it was cool. And
how about your family? Was your family entrepreneurial?
My mom's kind of similar to Toni. My mom owned several businesses when I was a kid. Hard worker. Dad, kind of the same thing. Corporate America. And so I definitely, like Toni, got my work ethic from my parents. Probably mostly my mom. She's the hardest working person I've ever met in my life.
Really?
And she owned several beauty salons. And she did fabulously in and around the Detroit area with that. And always, when I was a kid, my Sundays were spent cleaning those shops up. So that kind of instilled my work ethic in me. And we went to school together. We went to middle school together. We've known each other for 37 years.
Wow.
And so after high school, I went to Hillsdale College, which is a real small little private school in Michigan, and ended up finishing at University of Michigan as well. And then after there, I moved to Chicago right after I graduated, and I was in the mortgage business there for 10 or 12 years. So I was the finance side of things. I didn't get involved with anything like this until she got involved with it.
So tell me the story of Toni and Jay. How did that happen?
Oh my gosh, it's such an amazing story.
I'm going to tell it.
Tell it.
So actually, because we went to school together. He moved to Chicago after college. I was still in the Detroit area. I had owned a business, went belly up during the recession. So that's when I started in network marketing, actually. So I've been in the industry for almost 20 years, but I didn't get it until about 10 years ago. Through the course of that, I had gotten married, had 2 children, and through the course of middle age, not even middle age, in our 30s, we reconnected, and we've been together ever since. So we've been together now for 12 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
12 years. Any kids?
Yeah, one of our own and 2 previously from her first marriage.
Okay, got it. So 3 kids, blended family, more and more common these days.
Yep.
So I'm sure that there's been some explorations. And did you ever get into an 18-wheeler and drive it?
No,
Not
never
even
did.
one time? Not even one time?
Not even one time.
You have to do it once.
Well, I will.
Shouldn't you? You just to drive across, because it's funny, the things that you were attracted to there, being able to travel, being able to see different things. You now are able to travel and see different things. You just don't have to sit in a truck to do it.
Yeah.
And liking people in the restaurant business, and Jay, you wanting to be happy and help people and provide people with information that will be helpful to their lives. You just found a different way to do it.
Exactly.
It's pretty nice that the way we've chosen pays so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I
absolutely.
mean? Because I've been friends with some weathermen. I've been friends with some truck drivers. I've been, friends with people in the restaurant business. I've been I've even known a game show host or two. It's not exactly what everybody thinks it is.
Yeah.
It's a bigger challenge than you think. A lot of politics, a lot of watching your back, a lot of what have you done for me lately. I had a neighbor who was the big weatherman in Minneapolis when I lived up there, and I'd always give him a hard time because he was wrong, about the weather, and he would say, hey, it's a pretty good gig when you just have to be 50-50, So, but he would also tell me that I don't care what anybody tells you, you can't accurately predict the weather more than 12 hours ahead. It's impossible. Can't happen. You can try, but it ain't gonna happen. So, little weather trivia there. So I want to focus on this opportunity when you get involved with this company that takes you to this $1 million a year income. When did you get involved in this company?
Well, I actually found them through a mutual industry leader even before they launched. So this was about 6 weeks before we're 4 years old on October 1st.
Okay.
So I had actually found them 6 weeks prior to, having anything. We had no website. We had no product. We didn't have, it was on one sheet of paper and that was it.
Oh, wow. So 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then Jay, what did you think of this at the time?
Not much.
It's
It's like what you said. I mean, there wasn't a website. They didn't have any product yet. They had a great idea, but you know how a lot of great ideas go. Sometimes it's all they are is just an idea. So I didn't really have a really good idea of even what she wanted to do.
What made you, so I'm guessing, Toni, that you were the driver at the beginning.
Yes.
So what made you say yes when they didn't seem to have everything put together?
It was based on my conversations with the owners and some of the corporate staff, where their idea was, what their vision and what their goal was. That was the very first thing. And also, when I took a look at, being that I had come from the industry and already had experience, understanding, compensation plans, where we were going to fall in the marketplace, I was like, this is going to be an epic success or it's going to be an epic failure. There's going to be no in between.
Right. So
and it was a gamble. It was a huge gamble.
Yeah, you were willing to roll the dice.
Yep.
Okay. So you roll the dice, you get involved. Tell me about your initial months, your initial start, your initial beginning. And there had to be a period of time. How long did it take before Jay got involved actively?
Well, he actually, I made him come home from his corporate job 8 months later.
8 months.
Yes, he was actually costing us money by having to work out of the home for 40 hours plus a week. And our kids were young then. And so it was almost like, I started this, I wanted to travel more. We had teams that started to establish fairly quickly. And I said, I want to really help more people. I want to be out there, helping others and being in front of them face to face in areas where we were starting to have pockets of teams to develop. So I made him quit.
Okay. And Jay, what were your thoughts about this?
Eric, the first month was rough. She was working so hard, and she just remember the first few events and the first few weeks was like nothing much was going on, and then that second month, it just boom. I mean, it exploded. Everything
went crazy. Did this be like the 9th or 10th month you're involved?
Yeah.
The second month that you're home.
Yes.
Yeah, and.
Okay.
Well, it was the second month when we started.
Second month.
Oh, you started. Okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So in October, it skyrocketed. It was like hockey stick.
Yeah. So really, by Christmas, she was traveling so much. She was making way more than I was. And
how did that feel?
Well, it felt really good. Honestly, it was very surreal.
Yeah.
It was very, very surreal because you hear about these things all the time and you never expect to be part of it. You never really think that it's going to happen to you. Then when it happens to you, it kind of catches you off guard a little bit.
Right.
And so Christmas came and February and March came, and we had this talk where she needed to travel. Like she said, she was building teams all across the country, and I was literally costing us money by going to work every day. And so we decided that the best thing to do.
No, you didn't decide. She told you.
I I tried to make it sound like I had something to do with it.
I know. But, as the guy, I have to just call it out.
Yeah. No, you're right.
So you come home, and what was your role when you came home?
Everything.
So,
Took care of the kids, took care of the house, made sure that everything was going smoothly. We did a lot of events with friends and at the house and things, and just really making sure that the kids got up to school, making sure that homework's done, just that kind of, what any parent does for their kids. Yeah. Honestly, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic because I didn't have kids of my own until I was almost 40. So I was all aboard. I'm going to school. I'm the school dad. I'm going on field trips. I'm doing all that stuff. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
Cool.
And it gave her a chance to really spread her wings and do something that we kind of already knew that she could do. Mm-hmm. She's great with people. She's great team building. She's great in this business space. And it really allowed her to really grow. And it was, being with the kids was great. And then watching her was great too. So honestly, I had the best of both worlds.
I love it. Well, let me, so did you end up at some point, did you end up stepping into the business too? Growing the business?
I did.
When did that happen?
We moved down here to Charleston about a year after she started with the company. Mm-hmm. And then once we moved down here, the kids, were a little bit older and we were kind of in a new space. So it almost kind of made more sense for me to get involved with things too. And it just sort of kind of grew on its own. I started getting more involved with things we were, doing at the house and things, networking things that she was going to. And it just sort of grew on its own. It really wasn't part of the plan. No. It just almost, not really out of necessity, but out of more desire, seeing how great she was doing it with it and being around all the people and doing it. And
were you a little bit nervous? Because it's kind of a female-dominated organization. Were you nervous coming into that space?
Nah, I like women. And they like me. No, actually, everyone that she's worked with and all of our, the people that we work with, we become really wonderful friends with. So it really sort of just grew on its own. It was fabulous. It really wasn't a plan. It just happened. And it's been great.
All right, Toni, I want to come back to you. So you launched this thing. Mm-hmm. Jay's going to work every day. You get off to a start, and then it really takes off. When did were you at that little event that I showed up in, and I think it was Dallas?
Dallas, yeah. Yes.
When was that?
That was 3 years ago.
Okay.
And then you were the keynote in Houston.
Yeah. So at that Dallas event, I was at another event across, in the hotel, like on the other side of the hotel, and the owners came over and said, hey, would you come pop your head in? And so I came over and said hi to everybody. But I remember then going, this is gonna go. This thing is gonna go. And you were already going by then. I mean, the company was going, but not in comparison to what you're doing now. But here's what I want to know. What makes you, Toni, special? What makes you different? Because there's other people who joined your company at the same time that you joined. Maybe even similar backgrounds, similar experiences, and they didn't end up with the same success that you ended up with. Mm-hmm. I'm always curious. What is the difference, the real difference between $1 million a year earner and a 6-figure earner, $1 million earner and a 5-figure earner, $1 million earner and somebody who's just using the product? Because there is a difference. I mean, there's something. I have my my half a dozen things that I've noticed over the years. But what I would like to know, and here's what I don't want you to do. Don't give me the stage answer. Because the stage answer is everybody can do it and all that stuff. You know what I mean? And everybody can, but everybody won't. I'd like to say it's possible for everyone, but not everyone will do what's necessary or face their fears or whatever. What makes you unique? What do you
the word, when you ask me that question, the one word that comes to my mind right now is tenacity. So something that I truly believe in, something truly that I can see where it will help other people, because I have always been a person of service. My parents have always told me, if somebody needed the shirt off your back, you would be the one to give it to them, and I never gave up. So the thing about it is that I saw something. I think when we started building this company, like I said, this wasn't my first startup. So I knew what to anticipate. And I knew that the most important thing you could do was build culture and build relationships. But I was not willing, because I hadn't had many failures in network marketing. I had had many failures in life. And, being that this was my 5th company that I was a part of, and everybody's like, I can't believe that you're going to go back into network marketing. I love this industry. Mm-hmm. I love what it can do for people. It's helped us tremendously. We've seen it help other people. And the fact is that I don't give up. I just don't give up.
Okay. What else? There's got to be something else. I mean, tenacity, like you're going to grit, determination, persistence, all in that same bucket, right?
Yep.
What else would you point to that has been a determining factor in your success? And then, Jay, I'm going to ask you to give me one that you think of Toni. Because I think you have an interesting view of what makes her special.
I think it's also because I lead by example. I think that's also the one thing that, our team, people that know me, is that, my integrity means everything to me more than anything else. And I think that's the one thing, is that I've always led with integrity. And the other thing is that, Eric, I'm brutally honest. I don't sugarcoat it. I don't beat around the bush. I've had something that served me very well when I have to deal with challenges. And I've always used this in my career. It's called the Oreo cookie technique. And you talk about, you've got, your 2 crunchy chocolate ends, you got the cream in the middle, right? But the cream in the middle, you actually say something good, you address the issue, and then you say something good again. And I think that truly being honest with people and being transparent has also, really led to our success in this industry.
Wait a minute. I want to get back to the Oreo cookie. So, because you kind of went past there. The Oreo cookie is something really nice and friendly, followed by hard truth, followed by something nice and friendly.
Yes.
So, in an example, somebody's misbehaving within the organization in whatever form. Mm-hmm. You go compliment them on something else that they're doing really great. You say, oh, by the way, we have this issue we need to, that's not serving you or not serving the organization. And then you finish by something that they're doing great.
Yes.
Okay. I like that. Oreo cookie. So, Jay, what do you think?
I have never in my life met anyone that thrives on the word no more than her.
Really?
It's, she's been like that ever since we were kids. If you tell her she can't do something, she's going to prove you wrong and do it. And in this space, she doesn't take no from someone as a defeat. She's motivated by it. And it goes across, whether it's someone in our downline, whether it's a new prospect, regardless of who it is. She doesn't take it personally, and she takes it as a call to action. A lot of times it's against me. Now, we know that we're never wrong, right, Eric? We're never wrong. Never.
No.
But, you know,
We're
every once in a while,
no.
every once in a while, I get the no, it coming to me, and it's a little intimidating, but she is tenacious. She's like a dog with a bone. She's got the best work ethic of anybody. It's amazing. And it's consistency. It's every day. She does we call it, doing the do. Mm-hmm. She gets up, she works her contacts. She has a plan every day, and she doesn't deviate from it. She allows her time for her own personal mental space every day, but then she's working every single day, and she's never not treated this as anything other than a business. I think a lot of times people get involved with this and they hear about success stories, or they think it's some sort of get rich quick thing, and it's just not. And so when she says that she leads by example, she does. She leads everybody by example, not just the people that are at her level, but the people below her. She gives them someone that they can always aspire to be like, or someone that they can match as far as, their own work ethic. And it kind of transcends, and you don't really usually meet a lot of people like that. And she is the real deal. Sometimes, like I said, I get it back at me a little too much, but it's true. She really is. And also, because I've known her for so long, I have always honestly thought this was inevitable. She's always been tenacious and a force of nature and like this. So people ask me sometimes if I find this surprising, and I honestly don't, because of her. She's just always been like this, and it's so fun to watch too.
Oh, cool. I love that. And so you don't handle no very well.
Me? Oh no, I handle no like a champ.
No, so but you ignore it.
Yes, exactly.
And one thing I've noticed about top earners is that they've got a competitive streak.
A little bit.
Not to make somebody else lose, but they want to win. They want to prove somebody wrong, right? They want to prove something to themselves. So let me help you in your journey, to both of you. You will absolutely 100% fail if you try to make $1 million a month. You will never be able to do it. You're not good enough. You're not talented enough. You're not smart enough to make $1 million a month. I just want you to know that no matter how hard you try, you'll never achieve that goal. So I just thought I'd give you that.
Well, that's our goal.
Well, I know. Here's what I will tell you. $1 million a month is on the table. It's a matter of your tenacity, really, in our profession, and how much you care about people. Because people care about people until they get their needs met. And all of a sudden, then they're like, we're pretty comfortable. And they get in this, I don't want to judge somebody that's cruising, making $1 million a year and just, cruising, but it's kind of a selfish place. It's not about the money. They just say, I have enough money. Why do I need to work for more? It's not about working for the money in our business. Mm-hmm. In other businesses, it is. But in our business, your paycheck is a reflection of how many people you're helping. So I don't care if you give the money away. If you don't need it, give it away. Mm-hmm. But you're still going to be helping so many more people. That is a scorecard of how many people you're helping. So I'll be the first in line to cheer when you prove me wrong.
We'll call you.
My silly little statement. So I get tenacity, leading by example, brutal honesty, the Oreo cookie, not letting no be personal, but having it be a little bit of a challenge, consistency. How many people have you, between the two of you, have you personally sponsored since you joined your company 4 years ago, approximately?
Probably. It's the last time I looked at it, which was a few months ago, probably close to 200.
200 or so?
Yep.
And of those 200, how many lines of significance how many sponsorship lines of significance would you say has come from those 200?
16.
16.
Yep.
It's a great number. And of those 16, there's probably 2 that are King Kong?
4.
4.
Yes.
So four generate probably, 70%?
Probably more close to 80%.
So 4 generate 80%, and the other 12 generate the 20%.
Yep.
Okay, got it. So those 4 pillars are really, really big. Is there a 5th one on the horizon?
There's actually 3 more on the horizon.
Oh, that's big. Good for you.
Yes.
Good for you. So I want to get into your method of operation a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have being generic here in our conversation, do you have a specific method of operation that you recommend for your team? Something that they do on a daily basis, some baseline activity that they do every day?
Yes. And actually, this has been pretty much what I've done for many, many years. But, you're reaching out to 2 new people a day.
Yep.
Okay? 2 new follow-ups with your team, and 2 follow-ups with potential prospects. So 2 plus 2 plus 2.
So two new conversations with prospects, 2 follow-ups with prospects, and 2 follow-ups with team members.
Yep. And you do that 5 days a week.
Got it.
Okay, because that, basic math, that's, 60 new people a month that you're touch pointing.
I love it. Now, what do you encourage them to do? Is it show a video, sample the product, sit down and have a one-on-one, get together on a Zoom call? What are you recommending that they do?
So if it's long distance, definitely use Zoom. I think Zoom is invaluable as far as, when you have somebody that's interested in the business. I think that's the best way to do it. If they're local, I definitely think that face-to-face is key.
Okay.
And regardless of social media, texting, emailing, that's not how you really show people, what the business is capable of. Those are follow-up touch points.
So when you get together face-to-face or Zoom, what is your general flow of conversation that you teach?
Well, Eric, we've had pretty much a script since day one. Still, we've refined it, still use it to this day because it's quick, it's informational, and it's duplicatable.
Is there a way that you could give me the script in a generic form?
Yes, we talk about the who, we talk about the what, and we talk about spending, saving, or making money.
So the who being the company?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. The what being the products the company provides?
Correct.
And spending, saving, or
making.
Or spending, saving, or making some extra money.
Yep.
So a little bit of the compensation plan and dream building around it.
Exactly.
What would you do if?
Exactly.
What would happen if it made some extra dollars? What would you do with that? Okay. So you have this little basic process. You sit down and have coffee, or you get on Zoom or whatever, and everybody knows what that script is. Everybody does it and it gets results.
Yes.
Okay. Fantastic. When you follow up with people, what are you teaching?
Well, if they are, I always ask them on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you see yourself?
Yeah.
I learned
heard that.
That sounds familiar.
And then, depending on if they need, if they have objections, I just ask them, I say, okay, you've got some objections, I will address them right there and then. Okay. Mm-hmm. But if they're still not a, 8, 9, or 10, and they need more information, then I send them I have about 5 videos that we choose from, depending on, what they need and what would relate best to them. Just because I have one doesn't mean I'm the best one. It might be, someone that is a teacher or a real estate agent or a flight attendant, but
they're testimonial videos.
Pardon me?
Testimonial videos?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And those are all company produced. So, again, they're getting a corporate piece of material.
So follow up to the team? What do you do? What do you teach them to do there?
Follow up. I'm sorry.
But when you follow up with your team?
Yes. So when I follow up with our team, again, I have a chat for our newer market partners, and I'm checking in with them every day, but I follow up with, and I tell them, if you have a team, it's your personally sponsored. If they're a brand new partner into our business, then that's going to be a different conversation, and we need to reach out and do the three-way connection calls, and that type of thing. If it's a new market partner, if it's an existing market partner with a team, then I say check in with them, find out, where they're struggling, where they need help, do they need to, have your help to closing a prospect, and, or do you need help with, closing a customer? So the conversation is going to really depend on that, but we have one for, potential prospects, we have one for team members, and we have one for customers.
I love it. And with the team, how do you choose who to follow up with on the team?
You know what? We have a management report that I run almost every day, and so I'm checking to see, if there, because of course, that some people that sponsor somebody that's has higher aspirations, they go into the witness protection program. And so I'm just making sure that those people that are actively working their business are getting the support that they need. And so we've taught our leaders to taproot.
Find somebody in depth that's showing a spark.
Exactly. And making sure that they're getting their support, and making sure, new market partners, they know what they need in order to either get to the next rank or qualify if we have a trip incentive, and just helping them navigate, especially in their first 30, 60, 90 days, because that will help them, and then they'll be teaching their teams to do the same thing.
I love that. Jay, why don't you talk to me about what is your culture when it comes to events? Whether it's company events, regional events, monthly local events, how do you guys use events to grow your business?
Honestly, events are probably our biggest thing. When we can get together and we can truly, present the business to people, I think is when we do our best work. We have such the script that she was talking about is really the cornerstone for the events as well. It sort of transcends a one-on-one contact, but it also is a great meeting point too. And that's what we always start our events off with, is that presentation, to talk about who we are, to talk about the business, to present the products. And it's real quick and it's real engaging. And when we can sit down with 5 people or 50 people, it's always our biggest success is when we can make those contacts in a group of people like that, because we do have a lot of market partners that are in this area, and some of them are new, some of them have been around for a while. And when we can show people those different points of where people are at, you've got us. Sometimes we're not relatable, right? I mean, we want to be, but sometimes we're not. But if we can get together and if we can show people, the entire gamut of, here's someone that's new, here's someone that's been in it for a few months, here's someone that's been in for a year. And that really makes it us personally, but also the business very relatable too. Our regional events, our local events, really all kind of follow that same format where we do a meeting, we present the products, and then if people want to leave, they can leave. And then we kind of get more into the nuts and bolts and the brass tacks of it all. And it's a really successful format. And especially, you've been down here to Charleston before, the Southern business climate. It takes a while to build relationships with people, and they want that contact. And so we have business meetings, and events every month. And that's really kind of been where we've gotten the most traction from down here, is by doing that. The format is fabulous. The company laid it out. Actually, she was the one that helped put it all together 4 years ago. And it's not broken and it doesn't need fixing. And
how many locations in your team are doing a monthly like that?
Well, actually, some are weekly, depending on, their size of their teams and how many people we have in certain locations.
Some people like to say, meetings is old fashioned.
No.
Getting together with people is old fashioned. All you need to do is just click some buttons on your computer or on your phone and you can go all the way to the top. You don't need to get together with people.
We love social media.
We do.
We get a lot of business off of social media, but we're old school. We love going belly to belly. We love talking to people. And honestly, I think that's where our magic lies, with building those connections and making those relationships really happen in a more significant way. Because a lot of times on social media, people hide behind what they think is a relationship, and it's really not. And not that there's anything wrong with social media. It's fabulous. We love it. It's awesome for generating contacts.
It's a great tool.
It's a great tool, but it's just one of many different tools.
How many of your 200 did you sponsor after contacting them on social media?
Actually, you know what? Half.
Half.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you have a system or method of operation that you coach your team to engage in when it comes to social media?
Yes, and it's very specific, because what happens is that oftentimes people get so excited when they're brand new, they want to post a whole bunch of sales stuff all over social media, and that's the wrong thing to do.
Right. So what do you train them to do?
So if they're brand new, the first thing is that we schedule a face-to-face business or ribbon cutting, business launch. Okay. And whether you choose where you want to have that. If it's a public location, if it's a more private location, that's completely up to that person. I also coach them, do not put anything out on social media until we have gone through your first contact list of people and after your physical business launch, because that waters down, because people then see it on social media and they think that they know it all, or they go to the website and they don't hear, actually what it's all about. They make inferences by what they're reading online.
Right. So you encourage people to officially launch their business physically.
Yes.
Contact their natural network, hot market, warm market, and then start on social.
Yes, after that. And then I encourage them, because we all know people all over the place. So social media is great for that. And we do either a Zoom or a Facebook Live public launch, and either in an event or a group, or if they want to do both, that's fine. It's completely up to them. They both work, but there's also a way to do that properly. Again, don't post your sales stuff. Don't post your opportunity kits or your product packs or whatever you have on social media, because people just scroll right through it. You want to have a personal connection with people first, and you want to be able to build your story.
And create some curiosity, right? Get people
exactly.
Out to you. Post stuff that gets people going, well, what in the world? How did that happen?
Right.
So that they'll send you a message. Jay, is there a book that's influenced your success more than any other book?
Well, gosh, Eric, there's this book called GoPro.
Outside of GoPro, any other ones?
You know what? I'm a big history buff. I read a lot of history books. My dad was a Marine in World War II. I like reading a lot of military history and strategy and things like that. I actually, truthfully, aside from, your book, of course, I haven't read any sales books. I remember reading some marketing management books back in college and things like that. But my reading, the things I read,
history.
I love military history.
All right. How about you, Toni?
Oh, the list is long.
Give me 3 or 4 or whatever. Give me some that come to mind.
I love John O'Leary. He's one of my favorites. I really like John Maxwell. I've been following his career for such a long time. And, I love Gary Vaynerchuk. Mm-hmm. I think he's fantastic. Richard Branson, actually, one of his book, Losing My Virginity, mm-hmm. How he told the tale of, when he was very transparent about protecting his name. Mm-hmm. And also, was very honest about his failures. And I think that's amazing, and it took him all of those years. And the one thing is that people need to understand is that, what happened with a lot of the, Brendan Bouchard, you should see my library. It's it's overflowing. But the thing about it is that, all of these people have said from day one that, it's a process, mm-hmm. and you have to fail yourself forward. So, so
you're consuming history of a different sort. These people's personal histories and how they used it to overcome their obstacles and create success for themselves. I want to ask both of you the same question, and I'm going to ask each of you to answer it. Start with you, Jay.
Well, I get to go first.
Yeah.
Thank you.
In business, in network marketing, there are a handful of defining moments that happen in a career that are big ones. You could have gone right, you could have gone left. Sometimes they're driven from a bad day. Sometimes they're driven from a bad experience or a betrayal or something. But not always. Sometimes it comes from inspiration. Sometimes you meet the right person. Sometimes a circumstance shows up. But, I've had over 30 years probably 50 different defining moments, maybe, over the course of my career. Pick one of those defining. As I'm describing this, one popped to mind. I know for both of you, probably one was dominant more than the other one. Whichever one popped to mind, tell me the story and what happened and what did you do with that situation and what was the result?
Well, personally, for me, the true defining moment was her first check with this company. I remember getting the FedEx package. We were sitting out in the backyard, and it had been kind of a little bit of a dicey couple of months. And kind of back up just for a second. I was in the mortgage business for a long time, and I got burned out on it, and I sort of morphed and re-engineered myself into a civil engineer. And I was we were in Chicago then, I was working on big roadway projects and had a fabulous job. And right after the economy tanked in 2008, 2009, all of the federal money, all the projects that I was working on, those shriveled up. I lost my car money. I lost my per diem. I had to go into the office, and it was a struggle for us financially. And it was really, we were at that point where I knew I had some big projects coming up if we could make it a few more months. And so when this opportunity came up, it was not one of those things, well, hey, let's try it. We had to really think about whether or not she was going to get involved with this, because it meant her trying another network marketing company or her getting a traditional job so that we could make it to that next point in my career. And so the first month or so in the company, things just, as we'd mentioned before, really weren't going so well. And it wasn't that it was her, it was just a new thing. When someone sees a new thing, they don't always know what to do with it. And so that second month, we were sitting in the backyard, and the FedEx came. One of the kids brought us a FedEx envelope, and I saw that first check. And
how much was it?
$8,000.
$8,000.
$8,000.
Wow.
And it was
life-changing income.
Yeah. And I don't remember what I was drinking. I'm sure it probably wasn't a soft drink. It's probably, maybe a beer or something. I'm pretty sure I spit it out all over myself. And it just, I will never forget that as long as I live. It just sort of made everything crystal clear that what we were doing, what she was doing, was the right decision. It was a big sigh of relief. It was so many things at once that it was just, wow. And it was, I'll never forget that as long as I live. It was so cool.
Let me ask you this. How much was your last month's check?
It was pretty close to $250,000.
Almost 250,000. Did you spit your drink out when you got that, or is it normal now?
No, I'm waiting for more. I want the $1 million check so I can call you and tell you we got it.
Yeah, I like it. Isn't that wild? Like
it is.
What some people, the average American family would have to work 5 years to get what you earned in a month.
Yeah.
So anyway, first of all, before we get to your story, Toni, I just want to say congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On that check is a reflection of how many people's lives you're impacting in a positive way. How many people you're giving hope to, how many people you're giving direction to. You've got this huge income now, but there's a new person just starting that got their first check, and they're sitting in their backyard and they're spitting their drink out and they're dreaming again. They're seeing a brighter vision for their future.
And that's the best part of this.
Yeah.
That's the absolute best part of this.
All right, Toni, give me a defining moment from you.
There was a defining moment, I think, when I met the owners, 4 years ago. We did not, really know them that well. And he really, we were sitting there and we were talking about dreams, and my dreams were like this big. I was just wanting to make enough money to catch our house payments up. So we were sitting there talking, and, he said, what is the one thing that you've always wanted? And I can remember from the time I first saw the ocean, was at the beach in my 20s. We were in Mexico, and I knew that I wanted to live somewhere close to the ocean. And this had been a lifelong dream. At the age of, my mid-40s, I first meet the owners, and, I told him, I said, I just want to pay my house payment. That's all I wanted to do. And he's like, no, you're not dreaming big enough. And I said, okay. I said, I want to pay next month's house payment on time. And he said, no, you're not dreaming big enough. What is the one thing that you've always wanted that, since you can remember? And I said, it's to live somewhere warm where I'll never, ever see snow again. And I want to live somewhere near the water. And this was when we first started. We were still living up in Chicago. And he said, you can have that. And I said, how can I have that? We could not see past, what financial hole we had, that we got dug into, that we dug ourselves into. And not to the fault of our spending. It just was, my last network marketing company had actually closed its doors. He lost a lot of, his income that was coming in, and we were struggling. And so I, got very emotional, and I said, I want that house somewhere warm. And so it happened about a year and 3 months exactly later. We came down to Charleston on vacation from Chicago. We didn't go back. We stayed. So
how close to the water are you now?
4 miles.
Oh, wow.
And we have a river right behind the house that goes out to the ocean.
How nice is that?
That was our lifelong goal. But, Eric, also too, being true to our roots, our budget hasn't changed. Next to the house, we want everybody to see that they can do this as well. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter, how much failure or how much success you've had in your life. It's an equal opportunity for every single person. And that's the one thing that people, I sometimes think they don't understand because they've never really been educated about it. So my goal right now is to educate people. Like you say, there's just a better way.
Well, one thing I will tell you, just as one, because I can't help myself, I work with lots of $1 million a year earners, and some have wealth and independence, and some just spend it as fast as they get it.
Yep.
I love hearing that you kept your lifestyle reasonable for a season. It doesn't have to always be reasonable. My lifestyle is not reasonable. My lifestyle is ridiculous. But what I'd recommend to you is that both of you have two businesses. One business is your network marketing business. The other business is the income from your investments. And your goal should be that the income from your investments exceeds your income from network marketing. That's what your goal should be. That's true, total, lifetime, never worry about it, independency, where you can decide what you're going to do that with your kids and whatever charity or anything else that you want to do. So stay on that path. That's a great path to be on, creating true wealth. Make sure you pay your taxes on time, all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because I would tell you, there's $1 million a year earners that literally think they have to have the yacht and the $200,000 watch and the crazy cars and the private planes and all that stuff. And there's time for all that, but you don't need to have it in order to recruit. And sometimes it actually works to the negative when it comes to keeping relatable. So congratulations on that. Look, this has been a treat to be able to spend some time with the two of you, get to know you a little bit. It's not a mystery to me why you're successful. It's obvious that you have a deep love for each other, and it's obvious that you care about people. And when you match that with a good opportunity, and you match that with some systems, that's why I spent a little time on systems. So it's just some basic baseline things that everybody can do. When you match that all together, it's a magical combination. So I want to congratulate you on that. I still say you can't ever make $1 million a month. It's impossible. Can't happen. But if you ever prove me wrong, I'll be there to cheer you on when it happens. So I appreciate you both. Enjoy yourself in sunny Charleston, South Carolina, and I'll look to connect with you soon. Okay.
Yep. We'll see you in a few weeks. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Eric.
It's our pleasure.